In this episode, we want to draw some shapes with the basic volumes that we've learned in isometric perspective and see what is the use of these shapes. So I'll start with a very simple shape to see how we can have a good outcome with basic volumes. I'll start with a simple cube. The angles are the same 30-30 degree angle. If your angle is 45 degrees, it's fine. If it's 25.5, it's fine. Remember, to stay loyal to parallel lines, it's very important. Which means when you start drawing your lines to be parallel. And be careful about that so you can have a good outcome. Because it's very important for these lines to be parallel. So I'll start a very simple thing and I'll connect them to each other through a simple box. And in the end I want to change the roofs. As we've learned with cuttings, we could do this in another way. And there was another way was editing with added another axis, which means I only need to add an axis on top of it. Look, we have a cube and we've added an axis in the middle of it. If we move this axis upper, like this, we've got a vortex, like this. I only need to connect the vortex at the top to the bottom ones. Like this, we've got a building with inclined surface, but we can't see the line behind it. And this is our approach. And next to this one, I want to add another shape and take it out and add another direction to it. For example, I'll take out apart from this area. This shape is coming out from here. And from our shape, we are coming out with 30 degree angle. I'll connect them together. I'll come out with another 30 degree angle like this. Coming down vertically. And I connect them here. As you can see, we got a very simple shape. This shape can be next to the inclined surface again, or maybe not. But let's do this with an inclined surface to see how it will turn out. When I want to make this an inclined surface, I need to see the lines behind it. Again, coming upwards the same. Connect the middle from middle. Come top again and draw the vortex. Connect this part to this part, like this. And again, we can see the lines behind it. But this part, look, I'll draw a guiding line from here and I'll connect it to this corner, and wherever I cut it, it will be like this. It's a little mixed here, but it's not that complicated that you can't handle it. So I have two volumes, two triangle houses that are mixed together like this. Now what I'm going to do is to give them a little back and forth and add some stirs, and I'll try to add some small details to see what will be our end result. What I'm going to do from this side that is entering like this, I'll bring a surface here and I can insert it as our entrance. Like this. Let's go inwards a bit and close it. From this part, I'm coming down vertically, as we've learned in the stairs. I'll come forward 30 degrees, connect them together, and we got a slope for our stairs. It can be more angled or less, just whatever we wanted. I'll consider on a side as topography or a pullout. I prefer it to be connected to topography from this side. I'll start vertical and 30 degrees, so I'll have my stairs floor. It's moving upwards with a soft slope. I'll make this two lines so it will be a little higher. We think it's a little higher and we start connecting the stairs. Look, what I'm doing is called etude or designing, which means that there was a time that this design was building final rendering. And the time that they were doing the rendering like this, maybe they were drawing sketches up to 60 hours. That time they were looking differently at sketching. Considering that we've got an easy access to programs now, and we can have it very easy with a good outcome. Sketch is our etude or design, and it's not the final architectural presentation anymore. It's the first design in architecture, so we don't spend a lot of time sketching. Instead, we are using fast sketching more, which means very fast sketching to indicate our ideas. So it's a little different now. If you remember, we've practiced these rocks together. I'm using this to create an atmosphere here. It's very important that we pay attention to this atmosphere. I'll start some hatching on the roof that we got here. At the same time that I'm doing hatching, I'll use one of the walls for the fireplace. So I'm coming up with a curved line of the roof, connect it 30 degrees and then come down. I'll consider a stone wall for the fireplace. And from the stone's textures that we've learned, we start to fill it with that. Try to draw the lines with ease. And if the lines mixed and it became a little dirty, it's okay. Because when it's completed, these lines are lost in each other. And the most important subject is the one that I told you guys. This is just a brainstorming, and we are just drawing without thinking and just without ideas. So we don't have to make it clean. Even though when you finished all of these courses and packs that we've prepared for you guys, you will completely master these techniques and drawings, and you'll be able to draw lines very clean. But when you're just doing an etude or designing, it doesn't need to be clean. Remember, just for you guys to be able to put your ideas on the paper, you are a couple of steps ahead, and you did your part correctly. We are highlighting this part, and maybe we'll close this part with an inclined surface, like this. So the chimney is going through here, and we'll add a simple hatch here, and make the surface a little darker, and it's completely represent what we want from it. So let's hash the roof and pay attention to these details. As we can see with two simple shapes and two inclined surfaces, we could put our thoughts on the paper. So in this part I usually highlight the glasses with a simple hatch. For the shadows I only need to do a little oblique and connect them from the top to bottom. Which means if we determine a simple inclined shadow here, it fully shows itself. And it's the same thing in this part. We added a little hatch. And when we do these hatches, they are like a texture for us, and they fully show the inclined surface of this building. It doesn't matter if you're using it in architecture or landscape, you need to master parallel lining, because it helps you a lot even in city details. Whatever subject you are working on, you can have a good drawing or design. You can even design a district with isometric. So I'll do the Windows profile double lined like this, and I'll show this line that is going inside because I want to show the depth of this place. We added another line here and draw the lining below it, and we'll do the same hatching here in the windows. You can do hatching or just color it. I prefer to do hatching because it will show itself a bit more and give a better idea and detail for us. So let's go there. The connection that will connect the building to the ground. So next to this one, let's separate a space parallel to this line, parallel to the inclined surface, and I can create a glass window at the top, like a greenhouse behind our building, and then start playing with the details here. I can continue this part as a bridge, and then add this part in topography. And hashing it will go inside each other, like this. And added some trees and more details. We can make this simple design to go further. We'll use wrinkled lines for the trees, and I'm showing a good atmosphere here. Without using color, you can see the meaning of this sketch. And if we added some more color to it, it becomes much better. Again, paying attention to the stones. But I'm not spending much time on them, and I'll draw this part fast. Here, a couple of stands, and bring the continuous of this down. So this is our passage, and we create a mountainous area. I'll draw a couple of these inclined roofs for you guys to get to know it better and see how easy it can be done. For drawing some humans, I'll add the top part like you, and the bottom half is 3 lines. We'll highlight the top a bit and draw a line or a cube for the head and a small shadow for it. And it gives us some figure that we can use. Now I'll add some color to it, so it will become more alive. I can use Q color 732 or use 101, 102 and 103, 104 from touch for the brown color of this part. Like this, and the roof here also. Like this. Bring it down. Here also. Now we got the general idea of it. I can add some color to the edges, and something else can happen inside. I can use other markers, but if we got Q color, I can use 03 and do the bottom parts and inside areas, and maybe inside the windows while we've got some gray here. I usually color everywhere with it, even on the parts that I colored before. I can even use it on the shadows that we got on the left side, even for the stones, randomly, and highlight it more later on. And don't forget the part that they are mixing with each other. Look, It's forming even though that we've done it with the simplest things. I'll use C05 to highlight the shadows. If you wanted to use touch markers, you can use BG or WG color code for the gray areas. And if you are using Q color, you can use C and W color code. And please buy them in series. Like from 1 to 9, it will help you a lot because the most use of markers are the gray colors. And one of the ways that I'm teaching my students, and I also said it in the marker episode, is that, look, your most useful markers like Touch W series or CQ color series, these are the markers that are being used in all of the renders. Look, I can even use it for some part of the trees. And you can easily buy ink for these markers. The ink that you can find in the marker are usually C, Peak, and Touch. And you can recharge them with these inks. It's more efficient to do it in this way with your most used markers, which means you can buy inks and refuel and charge your markers with it. And you can usually do it up to 8 times. This is one way, and another way is that you can use alcohol, especially for the markers that stay in closed area for a long time and their alcohol is gone. You can also use acetone, because remember, there was sometimes that you bought new marker from the market, and because the marker stayed in the shop for too long, it wasn't functioning anymore. And this marker is kind of empty. So practically this marker is not empty because there is no ink inside it. But what happens is this marker needs a liquid to be able to run again. And for the liquid, acetone usually works. Also alcohol. You can open the marker and pour 2 cc of alcohol in there, or acetone, and wait for it to mix and then start working with it again. And I'll explain this in marker segment for you guys again. That what brand we should use and how we should use and how we should do this kind of stuff. Whatever stain that you've put, I used 732, and now I'll do the same lines on it again. And these lines are a big help for us in texture. Remember, when you're doing this a couple of times, it will give you a different texture. And it won't give you the same texture all the time. I can use one marker for doing pockets or the body, and I can do it 2 more times or even 3 times, or however I want it. And for each time that you do it, the result will be different. So we can use BG color series here to color the interiors, or I can use a blue and apply some blue inside the windows. Even some stains are enough, and it will do the job. So if you like, we can use a white rollball pen and do some stains inside here. But before editing some white, with M rollball pen that can be from any brand. Look here, I got some different brands like CD Marker. And they're super cheap, and you can use it for your black. And it doesn't matter what tool you use. Or I can use Owner, which is extremely cheap. Or we can use Sharpie. if you're able to find one, but I prefer to use CD because it got a good grasp and they are very cheap and easy to find. I'll start to work on the green areas and bushes back there. These highlighting will help your building to stand out more. I'll add some black stains. You can even use the marker itself. Touch 120 is black and in Q color also. In general, CD markers are more efficient to use, or you can use the M series of other brands. And don't tie yourself down to a specific brand. And try to increase your technique in presentation and be able to use the tools better. Look, when my work is done, I can highlight some lines and make it bolder, and it will help my work to be seen better. So, when we've done without highlighting, now let's add some more white stains inside our work to make it even better. As you can see, bright colors will show themselves much better on the darker colors. In those lines, our entrance or the places that are too dark, or work on our texture with some lines like this. So with some simple lines and two cubes next to each other, an inclined surface, here we were able to draw something really good and simple from a villa house. For practice, and do this step by step with me, and in the end we can have a good result together. And I'll use W series to add some shadows next to it, and then finish this one and move on to the next project. Look, I just added a line around it to show me the shadows better, and I won't make it too complicated. Again, I'll make this darker so we can distinguish left from right, also corners and the places that are in shadow, which means I'll put emphasis on the left side and the places in the shadow. Be sure to do this with me and share the result from YouTube links, Instagram and Telegram channel, and be sure that I will review them and comment on what you have done.